What's up, y'all? It's Blizz Lake from Minnesota Soul, and we're back with another one. This time we're doing a pair of Nike SBs that a client sent me in, and he says it needs a full restoration. So we're going to do everything from the suede conditioning to the leather cleaning and the unyellowing. He's even got a little bit of sole separation on here that he wants us to take care of too. So hang tight, and let's go ahead and hop into it. So people ask me all the time, like, can you clean suede with your cleaner? I try to let them know that there are certain colors, certain hues that I can trust on it. Obviously, you guys have seen me do some, Jordan 3s that have various different suede in areas on the shoe. So, I mean, dip our brush again. Then we go in there at an angle, but I don't want to mix any of the stuff they might have stepped in or anything like that over the course of wearing the shoe into that upper anywhere, because it's super dirty. But as long as that is on the edge, the water's going to roll on the bottom of the shoe. If you keep the shoe in a nice angle, you won't have to worry about the water rolling to the other side. Remember, I got a little bit of wetness right there. It didn't get oversaturated. It was mostly suds, so I'm not tripping about it. But I just want to go over it real quick, dry everything off. I want to look at it real quick, and we got most of the dirt, but there's still some lingering stuff on there. You know, some lingering stuff. I typically like to go in and get it all sealed again, just so it's ready. Now I got this going. I'm gonna go in and try to blast through some of that stuff with steam. Now again, we're still unyellowing the shoe, but we want to give the shoe the best hope of clearing up by clearing up everything. Wipe her down. Least clean as we're going to get them. Panels on the outside real quick. I just got my hand in there inside the toe box. We don't want to oversaturate the suede. We just want to get in there and clean it raw. Anything that's leather we can hit. We don't have to worry about. We want to keep it separate from the suede. But if it gets a little bit on the edge, it's not a trip. We're not tripping about that. Alright. We're not putting too much heat on it with the steamer. Not too much abrasiveness. I mean, I'm old school with it. So, I mean, we use toothbrush when I grow up, so I like to think of the toothbrush as like my detailing brush, you know. Put that back. Boom. Hitting that swoosh. We already did the crossway. They're already brightening up. I can tell you right now from the other shoe, they already look different. It's like giving the shoe new life. It's like routine stuff. It's just like changing your oil in your car. Tuck this tongue. Get this out. Messing up anything. So we'll take the toothbrush, dip it a couple times. And again, we don't need to be going too crazy on the saturation. We're just trying to make sure we clean every little inch of it, you know, and then we're good. Which is looking a lot better compared to the other one already. See that dinge? That's gone. Plus it's still a little damp, so it's gonna have to dry up, and once it dries up, it's gonna look even better. And I'm gonna take that brush, and we're just gonna dip it in there. We don't need too much. Again, these aren't super beat. Pretty dirty edges. So we make sure that we get those too. The people already know what the commodity is, so you can see the difference right there just in the dinge. It's like a whole lighter gray than this side, and I didn't even touch that side. Like, look at that. Like, look at that. Look how bright that green is. You know, we still ain't unyellowed it yet, but even like the bottoms are like, this one's a little bit more tinted yellow than that one is. You see that? Like tell me I'm not tripping. Like, look at that. That's just brighter. Not to mention, like, look at the inside of the shoes. Look at that. You got dinge on the heel of this one still. Look at that. It's just a difference. You can just see it. Look at that clean. You can see, look at that difference. This is dingy as hell over here. Look at how clean. Now we're about to start in the insoles, but for me, I like to soak the insoles in the solution first, so it's a little bit easier for the drill to go in and break down all the dirt. Now I rinse and repeat this process as many times as I need to get the results that I want. Now I kind of want to see a side by side though. Let's check them out. Now let's get these laces done. We're going to dip that into the solution, add a little bit of the cleaner, and we're going to go to town. We're just going to scrub and rinse. Again, we're going to repeat this process until we get the results that we want. And now the laces are good to go, so we can move on to the next step. Now get the plastic wrap, the brush, the tape, and any sole sauce you're about to use. I like to use tape to protect that upper from the midsole, especially if I'm using sole sauce on that midsole, so I don't get any sole sauce on that upper. This is an extra precaution I take to protect the client's shoe. Now that that's done, we can get into the actual process of applying that sole sauce to the actual sole and wrapping it up. Now grab your clear wrap, lay that out flat. It's gonna make it a lot easier for us to wrap up the shoe after we apply the sole sauce. Now after you apply the sole sauce, I like to use a paintbrush. I use that paintbrush and I dab. I don't brush with the paintbrush because the thin layers won't penetrate the yellowing sole enough for me. So I like to use dabs to make sure I have a nice good layer on that shoe, so when I go in to cook, it's gonna cook all the oxidation out of that sole. Now, as far as the size, I like to stay about 1/4 of an inch, maybe a little bit less than that from the actual upper. I have faith that my sole sauce is going to actually be able to unyellow that area too without actually being applied. This helps with the sole sauce not being moved around when you apply that wrap around the shoe to protect it. Here's after a couple cooks. Now they're looking good. Now we can move on to the last steps. Now my lint shaver is going to be my go-to tool to use during my detailing process to help me trim down all areas of the shoe to make them look as good as possible, which includes the insoles, inside of the shoe, the sock liner, you name it. Now we're going to grab another tool I like to use, which is a trimmer. I like to go ahead and go around the whole shoe and trim up any loose ends, any frayaways, anything like that, so I can make sure that the shoe looks as good as possible for the client. Quick tip, use a lint shaver on the laces to shave down any fuzz. And after you get done conditioning the suede, hit it with a little bit of mink oil and brush that in and you're good to go. Now the shoe did have a little bit of separation. We took care of that before we laced the shoe up. We did trim the laces down after we got done, and here are the results. I think these things came out great, man. We did everything in our power to bring these things back. As you can see, we cleaned everything, including the laces, the sock liner, insole, so they smell great on the inside. We cleaned each panel one by one. After we got done with that, we unyellowed those soles. No more peanut butter soles. They are back to life. After that, we went into the detailing process. We shaved down that sock liner. We trimmed up any loose ends. We reshaped that toe box. We conditioned that suede. We made sure we protected that suede. We even did the sole separation. But y'all let me know what you guys think.